Should you play Final Fantasy XIV? Answer is yes. Alright, video's over. That's a wrap, guys. Have you tried the expanded free trial of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV? I know I have. So give it a gander. Chances are you're already interested in playing it, so why not just go for it? But seriously, first we must ask ourselves, why is Final Fantasy XIV so popular? Well, basically it rose up from the ashes from 1.0 to a realm reborn, and the quality of the game has only improved over time. The devs actually listen and are actually passionate about the game and actually play the game. That's unlike World of Warcraft, which is kind of slowly turning into a premium mobile game. I mean, do you guys not have phones? But they just want you to farm and pay for skips and get gold. That's where the money is at. Doesn't mean you can't make a good game though. Final Fantasy focuses on progressing the game in numerous ways, and the stories all link up to each other masterfully. Its community is one of the best out there. Now, of course, you always get your toxic players here and there, but once you find your circle, you kind of look forward to playing every day and theory crafting and all these type of stuff. Kind of like, you know, you used to do back in school days when you're really excited about your favorite game. First, we need to identify what kind of player are you and what kind of experiences you're looking for. Final Fantasy has a place for literally every type of player. You have hardcore raiders in 8-man content, you have the casuals, you have the role players, and even the erotic role players, and if that's what you're into. You have the social butterflies, you have the single player RPG players, you have the escapists, you have the master gatherers and crafters, you have the house makers as if you're playing Sims, where you're not paying for a billion expansions. You have fashion souls, you have the bard players, you have the mini game players and the golden saucer trying out chocobo races, triple triad, all those kind of things. You have the completionist who's trying to get every achievement in the game, which it's gonna take quite a while because a lot of them do take up a lot of time. So where do you begin? You start off by making your character or your waifu, then you choose your starting class. You can be everything in this game, so it really doesn't matter which class you go for, because with a switch of a button later on, you're going to be able to change just like that.
Hey, you're finally awake.
Although you're definitely going to feel the need to probably Fantasia to change your appearance now and then, just so you can feel like your character's a bit fresh or trying out different races and all that. Now I must warn you, the game does start off extremely slow, and honestly this is where I feel a new player is tested with their patience. But once you stick it out, my god, does the game open up and becomes worth your investment. It all makes sense as you progress through the story, and you really feel that progression with your character, and you connect more with all the beautiful little details that go into the game, such as like the hilarious puns or the flavorful text or the lalafels. If you know, I mean, not everyone's a fan of the little potatoes, but let me tell you, man, they've grown on me. You really feel the community in this game, as the main cities are brimmed with people socializing or just finding people in the same quest step as you, joining them for fates or dungeons. Now, of course, I have a bit of bias of why you should play this game, since I've been playing since the beta of A Realm Reborn on and off. But I always find myself coming back to go through the story or catching up with old friends, maybe even just trying to de-stress with just the incredible music and atmosphere the game provides you. It just truly reels you in, and it's just sometimes such a beautiful escape. Now, the game can be enjoyed both solo and with others. Of course, I find the social aspect of the game is its key selling point, and recommend joining like an FC, which is your guild, and kind of doing content with them, such as like treasure hunting, role-playing, incredible trials and raids. Like, damn, some of these fights and these dungeons and raids, they're just incredible, and that you're just like in sheer awe when you're going through them and how beautifully designed everything is. And I've never taken as many screenshots in this game as I do in Final Fantasy. Let's also not forget about how incredible the main story is, and even random side quests which can leave you feeling like emotional and like teary at times. Of course, the story isn't for everyone, but I'll strongly urge to give it into like the immersion, the world of Eorzea, and there's really no rush to go through it all. And honestly, after making this video, I think I might actually endeavor in making a new character and going through the whole story again, as I've forgotten a lot of things since I played from A Realm Reborn, you know, waiting for patches and stuff like that. Now, I've been an avid MMO player since, you know, early RuneScape days, back when it was RuneScape Classic and it was 2D, and even World of Warcraft when it launched Classic. And when I was a kid, I would have my fair share of hopping through all MMOs, just trying to find the one MMO that I really connected with. And honestly, I think Final Fantasy is that MMO for me. My love for World of Warcraft obviously has dwindled over time, as a lot of people who have played it as well, to see the company lose any of its goodwill that has left, which honestly is very sad, but I'll save talking about that another time. But I'm glad I gave A Realm Reborn a shot in the beta, because I always come back to this game in some way or form. So definitely give the game a shot. You have nothing to lose with the free trial. Grab some friends who are patient enough and just kind of go forth, Warrior of Light. And I also mentioned that it's also crossplay, so if you have a friend on another console that supports Final Fantasy, you both can enjoy the game together, and you know, kind of just go to like each other's houses if you have someone close by, and it's awesome. Of course, from all the good, there's some drawbacks to the game, as mentioned, with like the incredibly slow-paced start you feel in The Realm Reborn. It makes sense endgame, especially with the combat, as you find yourself struggling to find keybinds, kind of just for about everything, because there's just so many of them. Which I kind of hope in Endwalker somewhat gets consolidated a bit, because there's way too many buttons to press right now. The PvP system isn't as good as other MMOs, but it does have its appeal, and if you're looking for a game with incredible PvP, then this isn't really the game for you, but it isn't terrible. The game can be highly addicting. What I mean is, like, you can honestly just really immerse yourself to the point where it just feels like you're kind of like in a high school setting, where you feel like jealousy to your friends or others that are playing with other people, or just kind of even potentially going through heartbreaks, and who knows, maybe you also might end up finding, you know, your person, your player too. So there's good and bad. Too many cutscenes and burnout from the story can just have you shelving the game for months, as you feel overwhelmed from how much there is to do, and you feel frustrated and want to reach that end game, you know, like where your friends maybe are just all waiting for you, and you just feel that pressure to kind of just skip through the story. But just trust me, like, take it slow, you'll be good. Like, the game isn't going anywhere. Grindy. The game has its grindy moments in the form of like relic weapons, especially if you're trying to grind a weapon from, you know, scratch through all the stages. You're gonna be feeling extremely burnout, but if you were around for each patch when a relic weapon stage comes out, you feel that it isn't too terrible. Now finally, I honestly love this game. Like, my friends always wondered why I was still playing it, and even when I was like still in World of Warcraft, I'm just glad they are finally giving it the shot it deserves. Although it's kind of saddening that it took World of Warcraft to reach this low of a point for them to kind of see the beauty of the game. I'm just happy that they're able to experience it for the first time, and nothing brings me more joy than just seeing someone go through the story and kind of just expressing how amazed they are at how good the game is. Also, the people behind the game are so all talented and passionate and wonderful, and it really is a contribution of like all the different people coming together and departments working together just to create this masterpiece, down from the writers, the music producers, the developers, and like everyone involved. It's just incredible. So what are you waiting for? Download the game.